So, ladies and gentlemen, fanboys and fanboys, nerds, weebs, and otaku, welcome back and welcome home.
Well, hello there, Apple Bites. This is your Apple Bite Written Writ Ralph talking to you straight from our show here, The Written Writ, a show where we have fun, get creative, and geek out. And as you can see, we have a plethora of people hanging out with us today, and we're about to start talking from everything from Nazis to D&D. Who knows where it's going to go, which is always the fun of this show because you never know where the conversation is going to go. All right, folks, how are you all doing?
Doing great, man.
Very well.
Awesome.
Happy to be here.
I feel like I'm missing somebody. Did somebody disappear? Or is this how we wore before?
I think
this is it.
Yeah, okay.
I think we're just in different spots. We're breaking.
There we go. I fixed it.
All over the place.
Now I'm used to it. Okay, there we go. I gotta say, it has been a long year. Oh wait, it's only Jeremy.
It's been a pretty long year, dude.
It's been a long 20 days.
Going,
Yeah, like the last 3 weeks have been the longest year of my life.
I'm sick of milestones. So I'd like to go a full month with 0 milestones.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Let's start off by going back in time and having a good time hanging out and punching Nazis. We had the guys on Monday, and we were all having fun, waiting for it to pop. And when it finally popped, we were there talking about it the whole time and watching the numbers go up. And you guys had a really great first day.
Yeah, it sure was.
We're so grateful for people to find this and back it and believe in it.
Yeah, that turned into sort of an unofficial launch party. You know, I tuned into your show and sort of watched along, and everybody was really supportive, and we watched it jump up, and yeah, it was a great first day.
Mm-hmm.
Totally, man. And like I said on Monday, this thing just gives me flashbacks of the 80s, you know, when, you know, comics were simple and punching Nazis, you know, every hero was doing it in their book.
Uncontroversial, right.
Yeah, which is funny because I know you guys, and we were talking about it a little bit with Jay, you guys had a whole little, I guess, incident or time with the always punch Nazis. And he said that I should follow it up with you because he told us his part of the story.
Yeah, he did a great job. So my name is Ben Ferrari. I've been making comics since 2009. Most of that time with Kurt Belcher, who's also on this. So I'm happy to see him again. And so we started making comics together, and Charlottesville, it was all superhero comics and some frontier genre comics and different things, normal stuff. You know, we're just comic book fans. And 2000, was it 16 or 17, Charlottesville happened, and a guy named Silas Dixon said, "Hey Ben, let's make a comic book about Charlottesville." And I said, "Great, we have to call it Always Punch Nazis though." He said, "Oh, great." So off we went, and probably within a few months, you know, people heard about what we were doing, they contributed stories, and the first Always Punch Nazis was born.
Hold on, I'll show it off. Go ahead.
What's that?
Go ahead, show it again.
Oh, that was the first cover by Luis Rivera. So we put it on Kickstarter. It did really well. Well, here's
great book, yeah.
Belcher pages.
Mm-hmm.
so we're extremely proud of that. And then we just kept going. You know, I think within a year, we had the second volume right there. And by 2020, we had the third volume. You know, and I am such a I don't like fighting. I do it a lot, but I don't enjoy the fight of politics. And this created a lot of fights. So Jay Hewer is one of our closest collaborators on these books.
Yeah.
And he mentioned on the show on Monday, there's volume 3. So, and this is a Kurt Belcher cover as well.
They're great covers. I love them.
We should mention this colors by Laura Martin, who does a lot of work for DC and Marvel.
Right. Inks by J. Peter Ants.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, do we want to hear the story of how it was just a long fight to the point where when I put the first volume on Kickstarter, there was such a pushback from the right wing. Breitbart News, maybe you've heard of it, attacked Kickstarter because they didn't like that we were advocating violence against Nazis. They said it was going against the terms of Kickstarter, not to
advocating for violence and that sort of thing.
So briefly, they took it off of the platform, and the rank and file fought back. And there was a 2-year fight, and people were fired over it. Always Punch Nazis, the book, created a fight within Kickstarter, the rank and file against management. And in the end, Kickstarter United was formed. My book, our book, stayed on the platform, did well. We followed it up with volume 2, and we followed it up with volume 3. And now Kickstarter is one of the biggest tech companies, and it is a unionized workforce. So we're extremely proud of that. No matter what happens, just like Jay said the other night, it's something we'll always be proud of.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's just one of the biggest things that's ever happened to me, being involved in something like that, to create a union. I mean, to be even a small part of that is just nuts. To create a union I think that was the first tech union, wasn't it? And
there may have been a small one before that, but yeah, it was the biggest.
It was like the first major tech union. And that's just nuts to me.
All of these people's lives are better off because they voted for a union based on the fight to keep Always Punch Nazis on the Kickstarter platform. So that's the short story there, with plenty of drama. I met with one of the women who was fired, somewhere along the way. Actually, 2 of them. There were 2 of them. We met in San Francisco and got to know each other a little bit, and I got to hear their stories, that drama. Mm-hmm. On this site is, if you scroll down just a little bit more, there's a link for an oral history. Right just above that point, where you can listen to the whole history of Kickstarter getting unionized. It's really fascinating story.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
One last point on that, if you Google Breitbart News, Ben Ferrari, Kickstarter, Always Punch Nazis, you will find an article on Breitbart News where they attack me personally. My name's on there, and the whole project. So that was a scary, couple weeks, I guess.
You never know where political violence is going to come from.
Yeah.
And we also we had to make certain that they knew that it was satirical, that we're not advocating political violence.
It's a comic book.
It's a comic book. Yes, it's fiction. We're not advocating for people to actually get out there and fight in the streets. But that was one of the big things that we had to do to make the book stay on Kickstarter. We had to make sure that they knew it was satirical. Point out specifically in the project that it was satirical.
Right. So Donald Trump lost the election. Biden comes in, and the last thing I wanted to do was do another Always Punch Nazis. It's exhausting and it's frustrating, and I was over it. Well, 4 years went by, and he won. Again. So November, we decided to collect them all in an omnibus. And here we are in January with a so far successful launch with some new, there's me on the left, Jay Hewer, and Kurt on the right.
I thought so. I was like, you guys look familiar.
That's Annex, right? Drew that.
Anyway, that's the quick story, we're probably going to do a fourth one because hell, we're going to have years of material here coming.
Yeah, there will be no shortage, I feel.
Again, it's funny because it just looks classic. Classic comics. It's not like it looks like anything. Anything that you're revolutionizing things. It just looks like classic comic books.
We have every genre. We have adventure. We have a trans character. We have black characters. We have women characters. We have lots of superhero stuff. Yep. We've got public domain characters. I think there's World War II adventure. I mean, there's a little bit of everything. Sci-fi, far in the future. So, yeah, you get a little bit of everything, and they're all they all have a political bent, basically.
Cover all the bases.
Yeah. And then we have brand new material. Mata, who was on the show last night. Yeah. This is a page of hers. Will Allred, and I'm sorry, I can't pronounce her name at the moment, her last name. Mata
Saucier?
Saucier, yeah. Will.
Dude, I can't forget that name because it sounds like sorcerer. And as a big D&D geek, I'm like, dude, I love your name.
That's perfect. Yeah, sorcerer, sorcier, right? Okay. They did one story, Will Allred and her. That's a page from that. You can see the quality there. We have another one.
Beautiful. I gotta say, she's changed it up again because we know her style here, and we're always surprised on what she does next.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Looking at her Kickstarter, that work looks completely different from this. So very talented. Happy to have her. And then Will Allred, who wrote the story, also did stories in our previous 3 volumes. So he's back for another round.
Will was saying that on Monday.
Yeah. Jay Hewer wrote another story that J. Peter Anitz is doing the art for as well. So that's what we saw.
There's the first page of the story by Richard Pace.
Yeah.
Of course, Richard Pace is fairly big in mainstream comics. DC and Marvel. He's drawn a lot of stuff for them. And he had a very personal story to tell about his own family and their views, their very conservative views that they had. He's from Canada. But, it just shows it's kind of a universal idea, this idea that you hate that kind of fascism and conservatism. And I think he turned out an incredible story.
Yeah, it's one of the best, easily. Look at that artwork. He did everything. He did the colors and the art.
The Raiders of the Lost Ark thing is my favorite.
I was gonna say, I'm like, is that Raiders in that panel down there?
Yeah, it is. That's Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's in volume. I was going to say it's in volume 2, but I might be wrong about that.
That's so cool. I can see what you're saying. It does go from like different things to different things.
Yeah, we have a Thor, a version of Thor right there, smashing Nazis.
Perrin, the Slavic god of thunder.
I love that piece.
That is a great piece.
Steve Ellis.
Yeah.
Does a lot of mainstream books as well.
I've always liked the book because again, what I love the most about it is it feels like classic comic books. You're sitting there and you look through this stuff and you're like, oh, okay. If you didn't know better, you'd think this is an old book from some other time.
Yeah, every page you scroll by, I think to myself, this is my favorite story. I mean, this is Kevin Norman artwork. A guy named C.W. Cook wrote it. It's about Jack Kirby, and it's based on a real story that actually happened. I'm not going to say it's 100%, but look at that page. Look at the skills from Kevin. I'm hoping to have him on a show to promote this sometime soon as well.
This is really nice. This book is. I've always been surprised by it. I have all 3 of them. Yeah, I have all 3 of them. Yeah. So, like me, let's say, and I already know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it. Let's say, like me, I have all 3 books. And then, how do you seduce the people to buy the Omni?
Like I said, it's going to have a couple of new stories. I want to say probably approaching 20 new pages. It's a hardcover. I'm going to do a gold embossed, always Punch Nazis logo right in the center of a black cover. And it'll have the bookmark ribbon down the middle. It'll just be a nice collection, like I said, with new material. So
that's always good. I love the fact that people add new stuff when they do stuff like this, because you have your followers who they want to buy, want to keep supporting, they want to buy something, but they want something new they can like sink their teeth into.
Right. I've already seen all this. What's new? Exactly.
Exactly.
And that's Hillary Barter right there, who did all 3 back covers. We had 3 pieces, all sort of a similar feel, Nazi robots getting smashed, and all 3 volumes had had his artwork. So between Richard Pace and Hillary Barta, we had some heavy hitters, some real industry talent.
And Chuck Vochkovich, how do you say his name?
That's a good question, Kurt.
Chuck W. We'll just say that. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce his name, but he's a classic artist. He's been working for DC and Marvel for decades.
Yeah. This is Chuck's cover.
Yeah,
he created a story and did this cover for Volume 2. So
I feel like this kind of showcases Punchy Nazis.
There's nothing political about that piece. It's just
not at all, man.
I love that. I love the halftone in the background too. It's really cool.
This is a Jay Hewer story. Airboy is a public domain character. German Angriola did the artwork, and another excellent story. Warren Montgomery did letters and colors on it.
It's really nice.
German's a great artist.
Yeah.
This is some amazing work.
It has like a classic feel, but at the same time, it feels new.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's got the basic skills,
I love that. The Joe Louis quote here. Everyone has a plan until they've been hit.
Kenneth Matthew surprised me with that years ago. And then every physical buyer will get that gray Always Punch Nazi sticker. And I got a bookmark that I made of all 3 Hillary Barta back covers. And so that'll be included with everybody's.
That's pretty cool. I love the logo. The logo looks pretty cool.
That's a Kenneth Matthew did the pretty much all my logos.
Another version of the robot getting hit.
Yeah, is that the same one, or is that is a different one? Yeah. So all 3 back covers had this sort of similar aesthetic. Robots getting destroyed by a fist, basically.
Too cool. And another hit.
There's the other.
This robot's getting hit hard.
Those are so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
And there's our disclaimer there, and that's the we kept it simple as far as the rewards. $50 for a hardcover, about 220 pages approximately. We're doing $80 for 2 copies if you want that, and then we have a book plate version.
Nice.
Kurt and I and Jay Hewer will sign a book plate to be inserted into the book, and and then that's it. And there's some add-ons.
That could be one of the stretch goals, or is that just something that comes?
What's that?
That's just that's just a regular tier, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Regular tier. Okay.
Yeah. We haven't really thought about stretch goals yet. I mean, I think we want to make sure we get it actually funded first, and then try to.
Well, at the rate you're going, I think you might want to start thinking about it.
Yeah, we're fingers
least
crossed.
thinking about it.
But yeah, hope so.
We got a lot of collaborators who I'm going to send a copy to, so I would like to be well over our goal.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah. See, the whole thing about stretch goals is you start teasing people. It's not, because you're not going to make it an easy stretch goal. You're already your regular goal is 5,000. So, your next stretch goal will probably be like 6,000 or 7,000.
Yep.
The whole thing is to make people want to get the book.
Definitely. Yeah, we got some ideas.
Yeah, because you guys are getting close here, and this is only the second day.
Yeah, we're into day 3 right now.
Oh, look at that. So day 3. Sounds like $1,000 a day.
Average, sure, absolutely. Not
That's a
bad.
pretty good average.
We'll take it.
Yeah, can I
Yeah,
maintain
yeah.
that? That's the goal. That's the goal, right? Maintain that. I think it'll get quiet for a while, and then we'll charge.
Oh,
charge
the usual thing. Yeah, definitely.
I've done 7 or 8 of these, so.
Yeah.
Let's go to the videotape and see what we got here. Here we go.
Oh God. Hi everybody, welcome to the Always Punch Nazis compendium here on Kickstarter. Thanks for looking at our page, listening to what we're offering. 2016, Silas Dixon and I created Always Punch Nazis based on the events of Charlottesville. We had Nazis marching in the street, and Silas came to me and said, let's do a anti-racism anthology, which I thought was just a spectacular idea. Always Punch Nazis was born. We got busy writing and drawing tons of stories, and this is what it became. It became something much bigger than just an anti-racism anthology. Lots of progressive causes and ideas are fleshed out in here. So if this is, if these are not your stories or you're not interested, this is not for you. This is not for Donald Trump voters. In fact, this was built around our disdain for Donald Trump. Donald Trump is everything anti-American as far as we're concerned, and these books sum that up. So if you voted for that guy, stay away. Volume 2 came. So Volume 1 was 2017. It was finished. Volume 2, 2018. We got Kevin Norman on a Jack Kirby inspired story. We've got Stephen Wilcox. We've got There's Something of Mine. Jose Sender did some stuff. Robin Davis. So you can see we got Mark Badger, old school comic book fame. Great stories, great art. Kurt Belcher did a ton of stuff. That was Volume 2. We got Hillary Barta, did all of our back covers. That's Volume 2, finished in 2019. And Volume 3 came 2020. Kurt Belcher on that cover with Jay Peterance on inks. Laura Martin, I believe, on colors. We got an intro by Heather Antos. The great Richard Pace did a very personal story from his own experience with politics and life, having to do with Fox News involved in his family. So these anthologies have a little bit of everything. So anyway, it is 2024. Donald Trump is back, and it seems like the perfect time to do a compendium for these 3 books. These books cause an industry to change, and I'll tell you briefly how. Kickstarter had Always Punch Nazis Volume 1 on the platform. Breitbart News, big right-wing media company, attacked it because because it was advocating violence against people, Nazis. The top brass at Kickstarter wanted to remove the project. The rank and file said, no, you will not do that. There was a huge battle for a couple of years. By the end of it, Always Punch Nazis became the reason for the rank and file of Kickstarter to unionize. So if you believe in unions, this book had a big influence on the tech industry. Kickstarter United is what they're called, and we have Always Punch Nazis series to thank for that. So the final book will be about 215 or so pages, hardcover. Many years of struggle and the whole Breitbart conflict. This was a tough one, I'm not going to lie, and I was hoping to be done with it, but here we are in 2024, and Donald Trump is back. So January 20th, 2025, when that guy is inaugurated as our president again, when we start new phase in America with somebody with authoritarian tendencies, no regard for the people of this country. When he becomes president again, we will start the Always Punch Nazis Compendium, Volume 1. If this does all right, then we'll do a Volume 4 and carry on. I think we'll be okay after 4 years of this guy. I don't think he can actually overthrow the United States government and stay in power forever, but I think that's what he'd like to do. I'm sort of speculating there. Obviously, nobody knows what's going to happen. Thank you for listening. Thank you for considering Always Punch Nazis Compendium. We hope you decide to support it. Thanks. Verbose. Jesus Christ. All right.
Lovely little message there.
Yeah.
I know Jay said something about you're a little confrontational in the video. You know, maybe you can be so confrontational. And Ben's like, no, I think I'm good with what I did.
I have to say that at least you like give a warning. You go, okay, this is not for you. If I feel like that's actually pretty nice.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't want people thinking it's for them, then being surprised. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like that's a great warning. And I like the fact that you're doing that, because sometimes, again, somebody's gonna buy it and go, "Hey, you didn't warn me." I'm like, no, it's a huge warning there.
Right.
He went on about it. He made sure that you knew that it wasn't for you.
This isn't just about punching Nazis. It's about a whole lot of things, and I try to be clear.
Oh man,
With that too.
Yeah.
All right, so Hit Point. I know you guys are heading off next week to do a special show. Where you guys are going to be at a location, right?
Yeah, this weekend actually. East End Gaming in Oakdale on Long Island.
Oh, that is this weekend.
Yeah, I think right, the 25th.
Yeah, that's this weekend.
yeah, it's super exciting. It's our first event since getting the product and fulfilling all the Kickstarter orders. So people are going to have their own cards, their own decks. They're going to come, they're going to bring, and we're going to battle it out. It's going to be really exciting, actually. Super stoked to see what people have made.
Yeah, it's going to be good to get everybody together. Now that they have product in hand, we're super excited for that. It's funny to see your guys' Kickstarter story, because we were kind of in like the same boat last year around the same time, planning to launch, and it's a totally different product, but I like that anticipation. Watching, when we launched, it was kind of crazy, kind of seeing it grow and stuff like that. So to come full circle and have people who actually have our product in hand, cracking packs in front of us and just talking about it and playing and having fun, super, super exciting for us.
Knowing nothing about your project, what was your Kickstarter like? I mean, big goal, small goal?
So our goal was 3,000, I believe. 3,000, and we ended up funding 242%. So we were like 7,500, and cool. We funded within 24 hours, which was awesome.
Jeez, very cool.
I mean, we planned it so that way, we were on Ralph, your show the week before. I think we actually did like a launch party on your show, and then that weekend we were at the Long Island Tabletop Expo. Yep. So we planned it to make sure that we had a lot of big events kind of surrounding the launch, which I think really paid off.
Absolutely.
Dude, yeah, that's one of the best ways to launch. Hey, you want this, and if you want to see how it is, go check us out on Saturday and Sunday, and you can play it yourself right there.
Yeah.
This is like our whole thing is kind of like a boots on the ground approach. We obviously, do our marketing materials, and we're doing it more and more lately. But initially, to get people to care about the game, you got to kind of put it in their hands and actually like touch the cards and get a feel for the cards and the mechanics of the game, which are for a person who plays card games, a lot. It's a completely different game from what's out there. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah. For those who are tuning in and don't know what Hit Point is, we've created a card game that kind of blends trading card games and role-playing games. So it's a mix between strategy and dice rolling, using weapons, actions, armor, and it can be played in a short form, 1v1, 2v2, like your normal trading card games. But then you could also take it to the table with a game master and go on adventures, all within the same mechanics and the same cards.
Wow.
So it really kind of bridges that gap, which is exciting because, I mean, it's my two favorite game genres. So what's not to love,
I gotta say, I'm looking forward to seeing the full game, and I know you guys have been working on it behind the scenes there. I heard you guys are like close to it.
Yeah. So we're almost done with the first adventure, and we've planned on making this like multi-level adventure, and it goes in line with our first set, Corruption of Hosphere. So you start and you just explore this entire continent that we've created, and Jeff has been amazing at world building and storytelling with all of this.
Nice.
And yeah, you just meet all the characters, and you really kind of dive into the world, and it's just so exhilarating. Like as we were putting this adventure together, and like the things that we could link to the cards, or just kind of like layer things in and then come back to it later. It's just very exciting as we're putting it together.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's we have a full world to work in, and we're just dealing with like one area of our map, and it's when you pull out and you see all the opportunities that are involved. We have a whole world design. We have a whole we kind of have a whole like not underworld, but like before we go to like a different realm, we have this whole world map to play with, and all of its little nooks and crannies and characters that we're coming up with right now. But this set is this ever autumn forest. There's corruption, and there's magical corruption, but it kind of like leads to more evil, and you kind of get like political corruption within the world in the different cities that are in the kind of zone. It's a lot to explain.
I love that it seems to be so many different myths all blended together, and so many sort of genres, because you have obviously you have human characters there, and you have what looks like anthropomorphic characters like squirrels, frogs, like the rat there, the favela.
Right.
I mean, I just love that there's all that bunched together in one big story. It's just really exciting.
Yeah, it's going into it, because we wanted to have it be a 2-part game, because we could have just printed the card game and had the card game be that. You still want to have some type of lore, but we wouldn't have to go so deep into it if we didn't want to. But having the adventure side of it, you really have to kind of like sew those storylines and those hooks and make them make sense in the end. You can't just because it's like a Dungeons and Dragons type of adventure, people are going to craft their own stories, and that's kind of what you want. You don't want to railroad them one way, but you do want to have some type of overarching something where it's not, people going crazy.
You want to have sort of like a map rather than a Bible.
Exactly.
Where you can go different ways rather than telling somebody you have to go this way.
Yeah. So we have like a big bad that people could play with, and we have tons of different places that people could explore. It's just setting that framework. So it's been really fun from like and the game as it plays, it's super narrative based, and the mechanics aid to that. And Jake can tell you more about that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing D&D for over 10 years, and I've been a game master for a very long time, and I get very overwhelmed with like a lot of information, a lot of things to keep track of. And the one thing that I like about this, and obviously, we kind of crafted it this way because of that reason, is because it's so narrative based, it gives the game master so much more room to like focus on the story, and things are like occur naturally. I could throw in an encounter randomly without really having to take a minute to think and like work it out to see if it's going to make sense, or if it's going to ruin the story down the line or whatever. It just flows, which is great.
Cool.
It is. This is fantastic. I've gotten a chance to play it a couple times now, and it just flows. And I'm like dying to see how it works in the bigger story format.
So you have one finished game here, and you're working on new adventures, new game, new versions. What?
Yeah, so this is our first set. It's called Corruption of Hosphere, and it was like 167 cards in the set. And like I said before, you can use it in the trading card game format, which is what people have been doing since we fulfilled the Kickstarter. Mm-hmm. But then you could take those same cards using our original RPG rules. Now you could go on an adventure with a game master. And so we have a one-shot that we have out on the website, I believe. If it's not on there, then it's on the Discord. And we're working on a multi-level adventure that kind of really dives into the lore behind the Corruption of Hosphere and the inspiration behind the set. And so, like, going forward, we would have a second set where we would come up with a whole new set list of cards, and then we would dive into another adventure there and kind of continue the narrative that way.
Yeah, different part of the map, but basically same overarching story. You know, it's just a different tale.
I just love the fact that you can like it doesn't have to just be the the game. You can just take the cards and start playing with them. And I think that's what's hit home with a lot of people, because when you guys were at tabletop, people wanted you to have it there, ready to sell, ready to go.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, I mean it's been overwhelmingly positive, the feedback, which is amazing. It's so rewarding that people they love it, and we just want to keep reshaping it and making it better for everyone.
Yeah, we were able to play test it for about a year and a half, as far as like the gameplay mechanics for the card game itself, the combat, and people really took to it, and it.
I love that video.
That ad.
That was great. I loved it. I loved it.
We haven't even talked about that. Like, I haven't said anything in text about the ad. I love it. It came out awesome. We were talking about it last week of having that type of flavor to the market.
I ran into this online, and I was like, "Oh my god, he didn't tell me anything about that."
It popped up on my TikTok one day. I was like, "That's Jay." I was like, "Oh no." Yeah, but like, the combat's super dope. Like, everybody kind of has fun when they play it, and the fact that it has an adventure, we wanted to kind of like min-max people's money. Like, we play card games, and when I buy into a card game, I get a lot of cards that I don't use. Having the same cards, yes, you have to buy into the system, but the adventure is free on the website once we release it. Down the line, we may do hardcover books and stuff like that, but we want people to have access to this world, and kind of be the good guy for them. If you buy into our system, here's all this stuff. Jay communicates with our Discord all the time, giving updates, and we're small, so we're like we're community based. And if you play the game, you probably talk to us a couple times.
That's how the game's come to be, though, because you guys have taken into account while you've been playing the game and playing different places, what people have been telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where we're. That's kind of where we're at. We're super amped about the 25th coming. Having people play and getting to talk to them and play ourselves. I mean, it's been a little while since we've played ourselves, especially against other, like me and Jay play all the time. Like he destroys me every time, and Lisa too. Jay's wife, she plays. She's kind of like the third piece of this puzzle, but Jay beats me every time. So it's gonna be nice to like play against somebody else that maybe I could beat a little bit, or I'm probably gonna get thumped again. But whatever.
I know when me and Shadow were playing with you were like, "Don't worry, Ralph. That's how it usually goes."
Yeah, like it's doing all the play because you want to show the game, like so you don't want to absolutely destroy somebody. But the times that I try, I still get destroyed.
Yeah, I mean the first rule of the game is to go after Jeff. So,
which is okay,
But that says a lot, though, that Jeff is a creator of the game, and people can come and actually beat him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the way that it was made is it's strategy, but it's also luck. So you can have a really good card, and if you whiff on the roll, it's not as good. Same thing with like less rare cards. They can, if you roll good, then they'll outperform. So it's pretty cool dynamic that the game presents.
Yeah, we saw that in person. You roll, and all of a sudden, half his cards were gone, and I was like, "What the hell just happened?"
It's almost metagame proof, which I kind of prefer. We want people to have fun playing the game. We don't want people to craft these decks and not be able to do their thing. That's part of building a deck in a deck building game is like you want to do your cool thing. Oh, I think this is going to work well with this. So, and if you have somebody that's just like, systematically knowing what you're going to play all the time, it's just it becomes unfun at a point, and it kind of makes you angry. For somebody who plays Magic Standard on a weekly basis, I leave the card shop every week going, I'm just going to play Uno because I'm not good at all, but I keep trying.
Yeah, as many times as I've tried to get into Magic the Gathering, and then I did the regrettable. I'll collect it for the art, which was expensive as hell. I know what you're talking about because I've tried playing Magic a bunch of times, and I sit there going, I'm not doing this to myself anymore.
Yeah. It's not a cheap hobby, but that's also contributing to our game because a game like that is not cheap to get into.
No.
With our game, at least if you buy into it, you stretch your money out so well. I think it's poised to once people start playing it that they could be like, oh, kind of like itches their brain a little bit. This is something different that I could play, that I could afford to play.
Ian is saying Magic is definitely frustrating when someone always stomps with the same deck.
Yeah.
There you go. But we want to bring something new to the table. That game's always going to be there, but we are something different, and there's room for other stuff.
Well, dude, I love the way your game is, and the fact that you it doesn't take you 2 hours to play a game. That you can play a bunch of games in those 2 hours and have fun with your friends. And I love the whole thing that it's so much fun. You can have a bunch of people playing. It's pretty quick, even though it can take a while to play a game or two. But at the same time, it's not something you're gonna be sitting there for 2 hours going, when does this game end?
My favorite quote and feedback that we ever got from somebody is, it's fun to win, but it's fun to lose too.
Oh, it definitely is.
You're not just sitting there because it's a very interactive. The more people you play with, the more political around the table you kind of get. You want to hide away in a corner while somebody else is popping off and rolling crazy dice. You kind of get to like lay in wait and strike. So
dude, I love the fact that it gets complicated, but at the same time it's really easy. And if you play it a certain way, it changes the way the game is. If you play it another way, it changes the way the game is. Because if you team up with people, it changes the whole way the game is. Because,
right.
Now you guys are going against one person until you have to fight each other.
Exactly. And there's just so much room to move with that. You can go into like these boss decks where one person makes like a giant deck and now you have 3 or 4 people versing that one person. Or you could do teams, 2v2, 3v3, and then you really get that role-playing aspect where like, all right, I'm going to go in as the tank. Jeff, you could go in as the heals, like that kind of thing, which
cool.
As a card game is really just kind of, I don't know. It just scratches all those itches for me.
I've never seen anything kind of like that, like a class-based card game play,
Dude, I gotta say, yeah, like I'm sitting here going, what? I can play WoW?
Basically,
yeah, WoW was actually a big inspiration.
I played WoW since I want to say since Burning Crusade.
Are you still playing?
It's a lot of the inspiration came from that, as far as like obviously not characters and stuff like that. Everything's from the ground up, but like some of the gameplay mechanics, like video game play type stuff, you know. So why can't I do this? I could do it because, you know, we're making this game. We could make the rules, and as long as it works and people are having fun with it, why the hell not? This is our game. Let's put in what we want, you know, and see if people like it. And people are taking to it pretty well so far.
I like the fact that you explained the way you did, Jay, because because I would keep wondering how the main game is going to be. I think you gave me an idea of how it is now by saying, oh, you can have the 3 guys against the one guy, which, you know, pretty much is the dungeon master versus the players.
Right.
Yeah. So now I have a better picture of how the regular game works. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be like you've played the card game, right? And for those who haven't, there's a tutorial that we have on our homepage, and it kind of goes through the mechanics of combat and gives 2 like example turns. So that's the combat in the RPG. Whenever you go to fight something or fight multiple creatures, that's the system you're going to use. And when you're outside of combat, it's just your normal D20 system that most people are familiar with. And we have a character sheet that you would fill out, that you would create, and you know, you go on adventures. I want to move this rock. You roll a d20, add any bonuses that you get from like your armor or your class or species bonuses, and see if you could move it. And yeah, just go through the adventure and see if you could save Hallsphere.
The cards look beautiful. I gotta say, you guys did a great job putting these cards together.
Thank you. Yeah. We like at the last minute of kind of development, we had, you know, your standard trading card layout where it was like the small box of the image, and then you had a frame with a text box, and then we were just like, why? Let's just make everything full art.
Cool.
And so like we're super psyched about that, because I mean, who doesn't like full art?
Yeah, Jay and Lisa just surprised me with that one day. I went over to the house. We were gonna, I think it was before some event. we had the cards put in. I'm like, everything is full art. Like, yeah, we decided to do that. I'm like, fire. Let's roll with that. That's so cool. Why not? Why not is a great approach if you just want to have fun, I think.
Exactly. As you can see, folks, look, the little tutorials right there on their website. I put that into the comment section so you guys can go check it out.
Yeah, Jay.
Appreciate that.
You're gonna be like, I don't want to look for it, Ralph.
James put a lot of work into that video. It's intuitive, and another thing that happened. Me and Jay kind of bought into a system of a game that I'm not going to mention a couple years back, and we were psyched about it. We played it at a convention. We bought the cards. We sat down at home and went to play it. And we're like, we don't know how to play it. We forgot the tutorial that we had. So we went online to try and find said tutorial, and nothing. There wasn't. There was like 1 2-minute video that explained literally nothing, and we got.
We found like a gargantuan rule book that I couldn't find anything. And I'm pretty good at reading instructions. I was so confused.
Yeah, if Jay is frustrated with it, I'm not going to read it. I'm a big dumb animal. I'm like, you explain it to me, and I'll totally, I'll try to comprehend it. And if Jay looks at me with like 1,000-mile stare, like, so I took those cards, I put them in a box, and they've been sitting on a shelf that's right above me right now. So we kind of use that as inspiration to make the game not only accessible, but the rule set accessible and easy to. I mean, you can kind of see it on the screen right now. We're kind of going over every type of scenario with card play and rolling the dice and whatnot, and positioning on board. How you kind of keep your board state. So it's
kind of inspired you to what you didn't want to do with the game. Something do the opposite of what they did, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, this video is actually like 3rd iteration. We've made videos before that, and we finished them, and we're like, oh crap, we forgot this entire chunk. So it's just, and it's just like anything else. Iteration is kind of how you refine things, and I'm sure we're gonna have to refine this more. I mean, this doesn't even touch on the RPG stuff. So
Remember when we first made the cards, how locked in we thought? We were like, oh, this is it. We're not going to develop this anymore. And then it's changed 50 times.
Yeah.
I may have missed you talking about this, but did one artist do all the art for these cards or multiple?
No, so we actually use a mixture of AI and photo editing.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It doesn't look like it.
we put a lot of time into it. The only reason why is because to get this game off the ground, I'm okay at drawing. To hire somebody, we just didn't have the startup capital to invest in that. I've drawn a couple cards, and we've gotten price quotes from different artists, and we're three people who are like, this is not our everyday job. So if we want to get the game off the ground, we got to kind of use the tools that we have. So
Yeah.
Lisa is, and it's kind of weird saying that to actual comic book artists because that's kind of what you guys do. And I get that it's like a weird spot, but we couldn't have the game where it is right now with our plans in the future unless we did do it this way,
You make some great points. As artists, there's definitely a anti-AI sentiment there, and you have to understand that to a point. But on the other hand, you guys are making games with limited funds, and I would never give you a hard time for using a tool to make something like this. So congratulations.
Yeah, we're not ashamed of it. We're we're super transparent about it. We tell people, and if people don't like it, it's it's kind of like your book. If you don't like it, hey, it's not for you. But
Yep.
let me talk to you about it first before you make your decision. It's.
I also feel like you guys aren't like just sitting on your laurels. You just didn't like get the art and go, okay, it's done. You guys actually put work into it.
Right.
I personally put hours and hours into each image to get it right, because if I have these random images and I'm crafting a story, I have characters that you need to see over and over again in some of these cards.
Yeah.
If the character looks different, clothing is different, but if the whole character itself, especially like our main story characters, they can't look different. They have to look
similar. Yeah.
We have a character called Kraus Strongfang. He's the head of the Brutalist clans, one of the Brutalist clans. And we have a huge cardboard cutout of him. Shadow Rabbit made us a huge clay, like statue of him.
Yeah.
That came out super awesome. Like the character you see on the screen right now, that's Madame Bassina Birchroot. She's a story arc character. She's got to be consistent every time that she's represented in art form, and stuff like that. It especially with the technology that's out right now, takes time. It's super labor intensive if you want the end result to be good and not just frivolous, pretty artwork for the sake of it. So.
Completely agree.
So what's your long game?
The long game.
The long game is to have people play the game, make enough money to eventually hire an artist or two. For our box art and stuff like that, we hired I believe he's from South Africa, Jay, Ian Jepson.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. He's done artwork for Fortnite. He's done artwork for Magic the Gathering. And we had him do our like principal box art. We want to spend the money. Yeah, that's it right there. But we can't spend money that we don't have. Even crowdfunding. It's either we get the money to pay the artist or we get the money to produce the product, and we can't do both. And if I was to sit here and draw these cards myself or Lisa or Jay, it wouldn't look as kind of cool and polished as it does. So.
Understood. So you're looking to get a bigger, do you call it a publisher for tabletop games? Are you going to get it in the stores? Is that your long goal?
So we're actually self-publishing.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're looking to get into some local game stores on Long Island. We're going to tackle Long Island first, then kind of move out to the other parts of the country.
Grow your business on your own.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because at that point we can control it wholeheartedly.
Yep.
There's not going to be some overlord pulling strings that we don't want to get pulled. It's truly our game. When I say our game, like this is Jay's baby. Like he
Shadow Rabbit.
it, and I've kind of worked on it, with him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's awesome because him and Lisa kind of like allowed me to kind of like fold in. And I've loved it every step of the way. It's been a lot of fun. Obviously, you can tell I don't shut up about it. I've been talking for at least 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff's been super crucial, and like I said, the whole world building and lore, like everything is from the ground up. Like you said, it's pretty amazing that you came up with all this.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot of fun, and I'm a first time writer. I don't write. This is just something that I wanted to do, and me being in my 40s, and I want to do the things that I like to do. I spent so much of my life not doing any of those things because I was like, oh, it's kind of nerdy. I'm embarrassed, you know? And now it's like, and I've always been, that's where my head's been at. Like, give me lore, give me stories, give me anything high fantasy. And I eat it up.
Dude, I've met so many DMs that tell me, I'm not a writer, Ralph. I'm not a creator. And I'm like, dude, you create stuff and write stuff all the freaking time.
100%. You can't do that and not be some type of creative.
Exactly. And speaking of creative, that Shadow Rabbit little piece right there looks fantastic.
Yeah.
That's Crouch Strongfang, man. That's
all Shadow Rabbit. Dude, it looks so great. Like, dude, when you guys had it on the table, it just looks so nice.
Yeah.
Shadow, you did that in like what, 4 hours too, right? Or overnight? I can't even remember.
Hey, I love you guys too. Sorry, I'm rocking the baby. That's where I keep.
That's all right.
All right, man.
I made a point to get that one done overnight because I knew I was going to see you guys the next day, right?
Yeah.
When I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's dope."
Yeah, that's awesome. I have it in the office. We're gonna bring it for the Tabletop Expo.
Oh, heck yeah, man. I think I'm going to be there too this year. So looking forward to it.
Nice.
Looking forward to playing with you guys, man. It's a really fun game.
Yeah, definitely.
We got a bigger booth this year too, right?
No, that's for the May convention,
right.
TCG show.
Never mind.
Oh, so you guys coming back to the other show, the one that I saw you guys at recently, right?
Long Island TCG.
Were you there? I don't remember. Were you there?
I was there, but you weren't there.
Oh, right. Yeah, I was in the hospital that day.
No.
Speaking of babies.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to remute it.
No problem.
Appreciate all you guys, though. I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're gonna be at the Tabletop Gaming Expo in April, the Long Island TCG show in May. We're gonna be at Tropicon in August. And then I think the fourth big one is the Moonlight Market, the Krampus one in December.
Yeah.
I like that one. I haven't been able to get to that one, but I've been meaning to get to that one.
We're hoping to get into some of the bigger shows eventually too. Like we want to get into like a PAX Unplugged.
I've been trying to get into PAX for like 3 years.
Yeah, it's tough to get into. You got to be grandfathered in, but it's a huge East Coast show and at the Philly Convention Center. That's where they usually have it. And we went once, and me and Jay were walking arm in arm like two old ladies. Like we were so overwhelmed with just colors. We were like, we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Come, let's go this way.
Mind you, that was my first convention in a very long time, and I walk in and I'm just like, "Oh, hello."
Yeah, we reverted to our like younger selves. We were like, "Oh God,
dude." I know what you mean because we do New York Comic Con every year, and it's still the most overwhelming show for me.
I don't even attempt New York Comic Con because I'd have to go into the city rough. And be just so many people, I'd be all elbows. I'd be like, but it looks so much fun. It looks like so much fun.
Yeah, it does.
Let's see. Ian says it's a matter of mindset. If you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. As the saying goes, you're right. You got to do it.
Yeah, man.
I see a rabbit.
Yeah, this is Chubbs.
Oh, hi, Chubbs.
She was the inspiration for another comic that Kurt and I are working on right now. I turned her into a Conan-style bunny.
Ooh.
Stop. Oh, my God, that's awesome.
Is that part of the stuff you sent me?
Yeah. I sent some of that. Kurt and I developed it. It's called Kanan the Marauder.
Ooh, I see it. Hold on.
I got to see this.
Go ahead, keep talking.
Yeah, so she was kind of just her color scheme, for this black and white rabbit. There's a page. He's a male, but it's very Conan the Barbarian. We're super proud of this. Kurt the other day said this could be our signature book.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
Badass. Yeah.
We collaborated on story and then my art, and we have a really good colorist.
It's coming out from Red 5, right?
That's the idea, but it has not been confirmed. No.
Yeah.
We have another book called Sun Chasers, which is coming out with Red 5 in April. That'll be in Diamond Previews, assuming they still exist, next month. There's a cover from...
that is badass.
I love Kanan the Marauder.
That's one of the reasons I liked the anthropomorphic style characters you had in your in the card game. Yeah, I love that because it just made me think of Kanan automatically.
That's really cool.
That's sick. Yeah, because we have two animal races right now. We have the Senosi, which are the they're the dog people basically, and we have two sub races. We have the Brachio, which are like your big bull breeds, like your Mastiffs and your Pit Bulls and Rotties and stuff like that. And we have the Dolio, which are your sleeker Shepherds and Whippets and stuff like that. And then we have the Favelli, which are a rodent-based race with mice, rats, squirrels, hamsters, stuff like that.
Sounds
similar. You guys need some rabbits.
Yeah.
Just like the Shadow Rabbit.
But Kanan the Marauder is fire. Look at him.
Wow. Look at that. That's amazing. Dude,
that's really cool.
That's issue 3. You haven't released this book yet, and you already got 3 issues?
All 4 issues are drawn and inked and lettered.
Wow.
I have hard copies, black and white copies of issues 2, 3, and 4. Issue 1 is colored, and I have a hard copy of that. And issue 2 just finished getting colored. So, it's a long process. We're kind of doing it on the side, and maybe in the next, 3 or 4 months, we'll have all 4 issues colored and hopefully find a publisher.
Dude, because even if you don't find a publisher, this is the Kickstarter dream because, it's already done.
As a matter of fact, we are.
Oh, yeah. There's Kurt with issue 1.
Oh.
Number 1.
That's
that.
Number 2 has a flying pirate theme to it.
Love that.
Oh.
In the background there. Issue 3 has kind of a sea-going theme to it. And this is all part of like an epic quest that Kanan goes through with his sort of sidekick character that he travels with. And then the finale is them on sort of a desert jungle island trying to survive.
Wow.
And that's Kurt's cover.
That's so sick.
Yeah, that's my cover.
Those are some great covers. Those are some great covers.
Yeah.
So are those available for purchase or not yet? Those are still in progress.
Not yet. Yeah. I appreciate the question though.
There's
Dude, I was thinking the same thing. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I'd buy the hell out of Kanan.
I'm like, where can I get it?
Sweet. I guess
for issue number 3.
Yeah, that's. Oh, we did 2 covers on issue number 3. Oh, the back cover. Yeah.
There's I think that's Luis Rivera, right?
Oh,
that's sick.
That's
All
great.
Damn.
So with this reaction, maybe our next Kickstarter is Kanan number 1.
I think you might want to do that because if it's already ready to go, the thing audiences listen for is, am I going to get this book right away?
Okay.
and you already have all 4 issues done. That says a lot already.
We haven't had a cool kick-ass rabbit since Usagi Ojimbo too. So
yeah, that's one of our inspirations. There's the back cover to number 1. I think that's German, isn't it?
Yeah,
the German's art.
Yep. We just make tons of covers and then figure out where to put them.
I love it.
That's a comic book lover right there.
Yeah.
It's the one industry where you judge a book by its cover.
Absolutely right. And then this is something else. Our friend Elias Martins did the cover on this. Kurt did the entire interiors, probably 52 pages. This is a one-shot. This will be, again, if Diamond is in business, because they just went bankrupt. they're the distributor in the United States.
Yeah, I was just thinking earlier. We have Sun Chasers coming out from Red 5 and the previews catalog, and of course, then Diamond declares Chapter 11. Right when we're going to have this in stores.
Oh, yeah. I think about it all the time, Kurt. I think about it all the time. This is a Red 5 one-shot, Red 5 Comics. They did another series of mine called The Carriers, weaponized carrier pigeons, and then New York Adventures. So I have some.
I got that here in the house. I got Carriers in the house.
You do?
It was you and Jay, right?
Huh?
It was you and Jay, right?
Jay wrote 99% of the stories.
Mm-hmm.
We got lots of different great artists, including Kurt, to do the stories. We probably did 10 issues of that.
It was really interesting. I was like, okay, cool.
Did you say weaponized carrier pigeons?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I should have sent some of that artwork too.
That's
anyway,
so
what were you showing there, Jay?
Oh, I was just drinking. If you want to see my water.
Oh, okay. I was like, are you showing something?
Thank God it's not a full glass of milk.
Yeah, Kurt has one of those issues from Red 5.
There's an issue of Carriers. I don't know.
So
yeah, season 1, number 3 there.
Yeah,
Carriers.
Love it.
Oh, that's so cool.
There's a cover by
Jeff Johnson.
Who did that one? Jeff Johnson? Yeah.
Jeff Johnson.
Like big. He's a pretty major DC and Marvel artist.
Yeah.
Who Ben knows pretty well.
Yeah. That's a Martin Montiel cover.
Mhm.
So we did about 10 issues of Carriers, and that was in stores and then a couple of trades. There's
One of my
Kurt.
covers.
That's a Kurt Belcher cover.
That's awesome.
It's
I love the lightning.
It's
Yeah.
reminding me of like 80s like animal themed
Definitely.
cartoons. Like
Okay, you ready? You ready for this?
Silverhawks, Thundercats.
Okay.
Yeah, when we were coming up with Kanan, it was sort of like Usagi Yojimbo, except this sort of barbarian character.
Yeah.
So when they came up with Carriers, it was sort of like the inspiration was sort of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles.
TMNT.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, I mean that's sort of I think those two are the big Pilot Studios Red 5 like signature characters for us.
Yeah.
Signature properties, I guess you'd say.
So the good news with Carriers is before San Diego Con last year, I went and met with 7 production studios, producers in Hollywood, and I pitched it. I pitched all of our books, but Carriers got picked up by a company, and they're trying to get it made as a cartoon. So it's a slow process. That's kind of the cliche, right? Slow process.
Yeah.
That is a slow process. Like they're not exaggerating.
Sort of a hurry up and wait situation.
Yeah. So hopefully, I just got an email in the last 2 days saying, hopefully we'll have exciting updates soon. So the guy's got something in the works. You know what I mean?
Egg posting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that's lacking in media, right? Like cool animal heroes have gone by the wayside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So whoever commented on the 80s feel, when I pitch Carriers to people, I tell them I want it to be the Transformers, G.I. Joe, Silverhawks, Thundercats. I want it to be a serious action adventure show, not a joke, not a comedy. I want it to have some gravitas and danger. You know, let's make it like the 80s cartoons. So hopefully that's what happens, you know. We'll see.
Yeah, good luck. Keep us posted for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Lots of cool stuff going on, and I'm happy that Kurt's on because he and I are close collaborators. We've been working together for a long time.
Yep.
So,
Actually, working on issue number 5 kind of right now.
Of Kanan.
Yep.
Oh yeah. I'm 2 or 3 pages into Kanan the Marauder, and Kurt's inking me on this one, so it's a little bit easier for me, and the pages look better. So. Anyway.
Man, you guys are busy.
Do you guys draw? Tactile like pen and paper? Do you use like iPads or Wacom and stuff like that?
I used to draw it on paper, but a couple of years ago I got a I can't remember what it's called, but it's a tablet. It's a drawing tablet.
Okay.
It makes everything so much easier. It's so much streamlines the whole process, and makes it easier to fix mistakes and go back and do different things with it.
So I did this pencil. I scan it. I send it to Kurt. He sends me a digitally inked file.
Okay.
And so we're 2 pages into that book, Here's page number 2. You know, the classic in the
like a
cantina.
Oh, the tavern.
Tavern. And then I'm doing my own inks from time to time, just goofing off.
That's really cool.
Is that just his hair coloring, the black part of his face?
Yep. Just hair. Just black hair.
Sick looking.
Makes it easier to draw. I just fill it in with a bunch
Just
of
fill
black.
it in.
Yeah.
It does look like he's wearing a mask, but I think that's what makes it better.
Cool. Yeah.
It's a sick character.
That's just the way I look.
Yeah, it kind of came out looking like Furiosa from Fury Road.
Oh yeah.
Black.
Yeah.
The grease that she puts on her face.
True.
Kind of came out looking like that. I don't.
It
think
reminds me of Daredevil from the Netflix show before he got his costume.
Exactly.
Like how he was wearing like the blind ninja mask.
See, I was thinking Princess Bride.
Yeah.
But I've always loved that style of thing, even before Princess Bride. That pirate type of look, you know, that bandito hero type of look, you know. So
Yeah. We're having a good time.
Very cool.
I can tell you can actually feel it in your both your projects. You can actually feel that you guys are enjoying what you're doing. You have a passion for what you're doing, and you know, it's one of the things I like to showcase on the show. It is that passion, because you know it's easier to sell your pieces when you're actually oozing out this passion of your projects. Because I've met creators, and they're sitting at the table going, "This is my stuff."
Don't tell anything.
Yeah, I've met people like that too.
Hey, you just want to like walk on by. It's like
Yeah.
how could you put so much time and effort into something and not be passionate about it?
Exactly.
You know, it just, and people read that. People read that right off of you. You know,
And I know some people are shy, and I can tell sometimes, you know, because you know we first started doing interviews 10,000 years ago. We would do it at the conventions, and I started to realize that sometimes you have to engage with the person to have them start talking passionately about the thing. Then I'll be like, "See how you were talking to me right now? When we do the interview, that's how you need to talk to me in the interview."
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I know sometimes
Congrats, by the way.
kind of like
10 years.
but as soon as you start talking, you can feel that passion in the project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's so many people that make stuff like this, make the card games, make comics, make books, whatever.
Right.
And then they just drop the ball when it comes to promotion and getting out there and trying to get it in front of people and bring people in to this and make them feel welcome in this. And it feels like that's the same kind of thing that you're doing with the card game. You know, you want people
Right.
to come in and be part of that community.
so like
Exactly.
Putting the game online like that.
I
Right.
want to give people a hug when they come play my game, because not physically, because some people are weirded out, especially people in the gaming community, but like I want you to come and talk to me, see me, sit down at the table, feel the cards, be comfortable with everything. Nobody's going to make fun of you. Nobody's going to tell you that you're weird. Come have fun with the game that we've created. You know, and I feel like if more people were like that, more people would be able to come out of their shells and actually like experience things that they deep down want to experience, but they're apprehensive about, you know? And if I have the power with this one little thing to do that and make somebody comfortable, why not? It's so much better than just sitting there and being like, "Hey, you want to play? Cool. You don't? Okay, bye."
Yeah.
What the hell's the point?
Yeah, there's too much gatekeeping out there in a lot of these. You know,
We're
these
certainly not doing this for the money.
Dude,
No, we've actually had a lot of people that have been too afraid to play trading card games or like RPG games, and they've come and sat down and played, and they were like, "This is awesome!" And like they kept coming back. Like other vendors too that we've been at conventions with. It's been really, really awesome to see that kind of experience being had.
I mean, me personally, I'm not at all like a card game guy, but that game really excites me. The whole world that you put together in that, the whole fantasy world, and all the different influences you obviously have on that. And took and put all those together into one story. Yeah, I mean, that's very exciting and very attractive to me, even though I'm kind of like, I'm not really a card guy, you know. But, yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, thank you.
That's the excellent thing about it. Like they said, like when they're passing by, they'll tell people, dude, don't worry, just sit down. You'll see what I mean. You'll be we play 1 or 2 games, and next thing you know, you're an expert at the game. And I've seen it, and I've seen a kid just sit down. And next thing you know, he's beating all of them.
Smoked by a 5-year-old, and like with a dad who's standing behind him, like he really likes card games.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we could tell because all of our cards are gone, and he's winning. Thanks, small child. You have to have fun with it.
Yeah,
you have to have fun. You have to be passionate, and you have to. Unless you want to sit there and play by yourself, you have to kind of like fold people into what you're doing. And then one day, hopefully, the money will come. But that's kind of secondary to it,
Yeah. First and foremost, building community.
Yeah, build the community. Have like our Discord. Jay is super involved. I'm more an in-person guy. Jay has been so super involved in our Discord. Somebody asks a question about the game or the rule set, Johnny on the spot.
Yeah.
He answers the question immediately.
I gotta give you props, Jay. Anytime I jump on Discord, I'm like,
when we were fulfilling,
I try and be available as much as possible.
Jay was giving updates every time that we hit kind of like a milestone in our fulfillment. Which if I'm a consumer and I'm paying into something,
that's what you want to
something like Kickstarter, I want to know when my stuff's coming eventually.
Yeah.
So to get that type of feedback from the creator of the game or the creator of whatever it is, I feel like there's weight to that, and there's that kind of.
You got to keep the lines of communication open with people that are interested.
Right.
I gotta say, Jay, one of the biggest moments for me was when you actually were disappointed when the cards came in, and you're like, no, we're not gonna do these cards. They're gonna be better cards. And I was like, wow, because that takes because a lot of people don't like the people to see that moment, because they fear that people are gonna be like, oh, these guys don't know what they're doing. But it was such a moment where you're like, no, we deserve better than this, and you deserve better than this. And I was like, damn, that took guts.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I mean, it was I wanted to be as raw and transparent when I did those sampling videos for that reason, because I wanted everyone to know, like, we're putting, or we have like the highest quality in mind, and we're not going to settle for less than that, So that's super important to us. And when we got that first set of cards, it was like, oh man, that's just not it.
What was wrong with the printing?
They were
print walked so bad on them.
Off-centered. It was like this weird gloss that didn't feel right. The foil, we got foil cards, and the foil just scratched right off. You accidentally flicked it with your finger.
Like a scratch off lottery ticket. You could kind of scratch off.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what the hell is this? I'm like, who QC'd this product? Somebody sent this out to us.
Did the same printer redo it, or did you go somewhere else?
We went somewhere else. Yeah. I mean, it was surprising because we've gotten stuff from them before for previous projects, and it looked fine. But when we went shopping around for other places, the place that we ended up going with, I mean, it was just so much better. It was like uncomparable.
Yeah, cool. Like with card games, people, especially when they're playing in paper, like the tactile feel of that card is a huge thing because if the card looks like crap, you don't want to sleeve it. You don't want to. You're not going to care about it. But if I get it sounds silly, but if I get a cardboard rectangle that looks super nice and everything's centered and the art's awesome, I want to protect it as quick as I can. I'm surrounded by top loaders and just I got a million of them just sitting around at the desk. I'm surrounded by playing cards, by the way, trading cards.
I'm surrounded by comic books.
I have a sickness and an obsession.
I'm surrounded by both of those things. I got comics, I got games. That's why a lot of people I know what you guys are talking about, because sometimes people will tell me, Ralph, you're all over the place with your show. And I'm like, I like a lot of stuff.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that, man. I don't yuck somebody's yum. If you're into it,
melt. You're balancing.
Yeah. Melt the
What I'm
plastic.
saying is that we need to focus on one thing. That way, the show can do better. I'm like, no, but I'm not just interested in one thing. Yeah, don't listen to people, folks. Do your own thing.
I'm personally notorious for getting into something too much and just spending all of my money on it. Like we have this podcast that I'm doing tonight. I went out and I bought a new microphone and a new webcam for it.
Wow.
This will be the only time, unless I'm on again, that I use it.
Oh, you're definitely going to be on again, so at least you get your money out of it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it would be so much cooler if I got this thing,
All right, so folks, I see we are at the 20 mark. So let's start with Punch Nazis and tell the people where they can find you and all the good stuff. Go for it.
Find me personally, typically Facebook. I have Instagram, but I'm never there. Blue Sky once in a while because that's the cool place to be. And Always Punch Nazis is on Kickstarter. We started 2 days ago. We got 27 days left to go. We gained a little bit this evening, so thank you very much for having us. This is an anthology about punching Nazis and a lot of other things. It's left-wing politics, hardcover, omnibus, black. I like the cover. It's black with the gold Always Punch Nazis right in the center, and right down there.
There it is.
So I think it'll look kind of cool and serious, and that's what I'm looking for. So thank you, everybody, for listening to my spiel on that. Sorry it went long, and hopefully it'll go to the printer in about 3 weeks. So.
And you, Kurt?
Sweet. I'm pretty much on every platform except for Twitter. I dumped that one a long time ago. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, Threads. I'm on all those. I have a Patreon. It's Kurt Belcher, all one word. I've been serializing a lot of comics there, so a lot of older comics and some newer stuff. You can check that out. I have a free tier that you can check out, like sketches and artwork in progress, that kind of thing. I think me and Ben have pretty much covered all the bases as far as what we have coming out soon. Sun Chasers, Cannon, and Always Punch Nazis.
I gotta say, it was easy finding both of you when I was doing my research. So, folks, you got no excuse. I plugged both of your names in, and it was like, boop. Oh, that was nice. Usually, I gotta go dive deep into.
Kurt is extremely prolific. He's a writer. He's a penciler. He's an inker. He's always creating stories and ideas. Is it an avant-garde? Is that the term for somebody who does it all? Support Kurt. He needs to be a superstar. I do this as a side thing. I'm an electrician. I do comics for fun and hopefully make something of it. Kurt does it full time. He makes comic books full time, writing, drawing. So he's the real thing.
Next best thing to saying I'm completely poor. And almost
No.
I feel you, man.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, go ahead. Hit point.
Yeah. So definitely check us out on our website at HitPointGame.com. I have it underneath my little name here. Also on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at HitPointGame. And join our Discord as well. So if you go to our website, HitPointGame.com, scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a little Discord button. Once you click that, you can join right in. Discord is where we're most active, and we'll post updates and events and different announcements there as well. We have, like I said, the 25th, if you're around Oakdale, we're going to be at the East End Gaming from 1 to 4. So come stop by. I think that's kind of it. Jeff, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, check us out. If you want to try something new and different, if you want to play card games with some two rad dudes, we're always down to play. So check us out. That's basically it. Hit point out.
I bet Apple TV is going to try to be there on Saturday. I'm not promising anything, but if you see us there, say
That
hi,
would be so dope.
and you'll be in our trailer.
I will ignore you if you. No, I'm just kidding.
You'll be more in our trailer. Why is he in the trailer, Ralph? Because he was ignoring me.
I always get nervous when I see Ralph because I know I'm going to have to talk on a camera at some point. And I'm always like, God, Jay's not here. Damn it.
Oh, that's how it was the last time. He was like, oh, man, Jay's not here.
I was like,
okay, Ralph, I got this. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, I'd be sick if he came down, though, dude.
Yeah, I know it's far for you, but that'd be awesome. No pressure. No pressure.
You post it, I'll let you know what's going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Folks, go check it out. If you want to check out this game in person, if you're considering buying it and you're like, but I want to see what it is, you can go down there, Long Island, you can play at the store, and you can buy the game right there with them. So it's the best of all worlds. You don't have to pay shipping and handling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
we'll hand it to you for free
Exactly.
after you purchase it.
And sign it.
Yeah. And sign it if you want my signature for some reason. Or Jay's.
Oh, man. So, Shadow, I see you doing the baby thing there, but tell the people who you are. Go tell them all the good stuff.
I'll try to. Hey, guys. I'm Lewis, Shadow Rabbit Clay Guy on Instagram. I make cool stuff out of clay. Check it out.
Sweet.
He does.
He does. I had to show it. And of course, he's a geek too, because you can see his collection in his video.
Space Bastards.
Yep.
You gotta check that one out if you haven't.
Is that Bob Ross?
Yeah.
It is the man.
Shadow can do a lot of things.
That's crazy.
He did a what did he do? He did the Radish Spirit from Spirited Away from Me at the TCG show.
Whew. Oh, that's right.
At tabletop. Still, I got it sitting on my shelf over there.
That's awesome, man.
And here's the one he's working on right now. I always love when you get creative and add the lights to things. Boom.
It's a long-term project learning how to do that, but it's coming out okay.
Oh, dude,
I
that's
think it looks awesome.
love that.
That's for Northern Wind. He's got a whole universe he's building there in comics. So these are some of his characters. I think they're all based off of his children too.
Cool.
That's why I tell people all the time, the Shadow can make your dreams into reality because he puts your characters so you can see them and feel them. Like my Hugbert back there.
I want to make that. I want to make that character you showed before, the little pug with the mushroom hat and the globe.
Oh, you want to
See that?
Yeah.
Tell us your costs, if you would. What do you charge for something like this? A character?
I will work with you, man. We'll set a budget together. I mean, work anywhere from a couple bucks to a couple $1,000. Honestly,
Gotcha.
we'll set the budget, and then I'll tell you what we can do with it.
I might need a Kanan the Marauder, so we'll talk.
See,
Dude,
Shadow Rabbit is as flexible as his clay. Oh, that's right. I'm here forgetting that me and Shadow are working on something. And good thing I'm on his site. We are in We Suck at Comics, and if you've been wanting a Writ Ralph kind of story, and you know me, I don't like to publish, but you guys, Wayward Raven has helped us out and put it into their book. We Suck at Comics, because we suck at comics here, because that's the way it is. So Shadow and I are in this piece. I did a nice little prose piece. Shadow did a nice art piece to it. So, if you want to see something different from both of us, We Suck at Comics. And they are out next week on the 28th.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, wow. Coming up.
And we're probably going to have them on the show soon. Wayward Raven.
Very
Great guys.
Very honored you asked me to do some work with you, man.
Dude, you really nailed that piece because it just has the feeling of the story. And folks, you guys always expect Shadow to be doing the clay stuff. in the book, he's going to be doing an art piece. So not that it's clay, it's not art, but this is him doing drawing.
Okay.
So that's going to be out in the stores everywhere.
Oh, it should be on Kickstarter starting next Tuesday.
Okay, cool, sweet.
Nice.
Awesome.
Oh, also Brook City with Ace.
Oh, that's right. Brook City is out right now.
Yeah, it's currently.
He hasn't. He's supposed to get back to me to be on being on the show.
I know. I'm excited about it too.
Mr. Nat, are you there? I saw he
I am here. I did not realize you had called my name. Sorry, I am invested in a currently good indie book that I had received just a few days ago, and I have an opportunity to check it out, and it is capturing me.
That's always good if a book captures you that much.
I know.
So, Mr. Nat, are we forgetting something?
The usual suspects of Kakao Mia and Pat Shand, and
They always have something going on.
That's why I called them the usual suspects.
Pat Shan's a great guy. I was on I think Travis Gibb hangout with him once. Really nice guy. And you weren't kidding. You said they always have something going. While he was on the podcast, he was boxing up books. And it was like, wow, this guy's dedicated. He's got so much going on.
He has something for the next Kickstarter right after the one that he just finishes.
Wow.
They always, yeah, dude. Sometimes their Kickstarters are like back to back to back to back, and we're like, Pat, how do you do it?
I mean, do you know Richard Fairgray?
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's I think he lives out in LA. He does like back to back to back to back Kickstarters just constantly, and just turns out pages. He's one of the fastest artists I've ever seen. He just turns out pages constantly. Like
Dude,
hundreds of pages.
I give you guys props for these Kickstarters because they're heart wrenching.
Torture.
Oh my god!
Puts your blood pressure through the roof, man.
So here is the book that Shadow Rabbit was talking about. Brook City from our friends at Ace. Their book is out right now. They are at 1,156. They're very close to funding. Come on, folks. We can get them to 1,500. 26 backers. They still got 14 days to go, so we can get them to 2,000. Come on, folks.
And then our friends at Bad Bug also has a Kickstarter that's going on. Venya basically include any prehistoric and jungle theme plus some Conan Barbarian, and voila.
That doesn't seem like much. Is everybody like taking a break?
Yeah, I'm double checking right now. I believe that's everyone for the current moment. Billy Tucci has a Kickstarter. He has.
Oh, that's right. He just kicked it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
For She, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Billy has a new Kickstarter for She.
And that's it.
Of course, we can't forget our lovely Mata Sorciere. She does amazing stuff. Go support her art book over here. It's beautiful, folks. If you guys hadn't seen a piece of Sorciere's art, you're gonna want to pick up some fancy shit. Love the title. She does an amazing job at what she does, and right now she is also on Always Punch Nazis.
Yep, happy to have her.
So you can support it two ways. Go get her book here and go get her book there. Come on. I'm telling you, Mata is amazing. She does her own art, lettering, writing. Go help her out. She does so much. My favorite thing that she says is, I do so much and I don't make enough money to pay myself.
She's got to charge more.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I can see that working though. You need to give me more money. I'm trying to give you more money, but I'm you. And folks, on this show, unless anybody has anything else to say, on this show, when it ends, I press the button, and where it stops, nobody knows.